When I started the podcast, I would have imagined that there is a fringe out there that is unlike me, and all of us, all four of us, are really what India is. This is the idea of India, and that we are broadly secular and liberal and etc. etc. You know exactly what I mean. And I realized as the years went by that we are the fringe, that we are the outliers, that Indian society, and of course, like John Robinson said, anything you say of India, the opposite is also true. But I realized that what we are seeing happening in our politics today is not the fringe, it is our society. In particular, the episode I did with Akshay Mukul on his great book, The Gita Press, kind of brought this alive to me that Indian society has always had these currents. And what really happened in 47 is you had a group of unelected elites impose a relatively liberal constitution, not as liberal as you would like, but relatively liberal constitution on a largely illiberal society. And then we moved away from the task of actually making society more liberal, the bottom-up way as Gandhiji would have wanted. And the result is that today politics has caught up with society. What you see today is not an aberration, it is a real India. And that, people like you and me have, have to begin the fight all over again if we really care about the fight, and we have to think about it in a bottom-up way. There are three problems India have which I think about. One is proximate, two are much deeper. The proximate problem is a political problem. I don't like the political party in charge. People may disagree with that. It's subjective, whatever. That's a proximate problem for me. But the two deeper problems are A, the oppressive nature of the Indian state, which is embedded in our constitution and in our DNA. And two, our deeply fractured society. And our politics is really supply responding to demand. It is a society which is like that, and changing the party in power is not going to make us less bigoted or less misogynist or any of those things. And to solve those problems, the state and the society, are much deeper problems no one talks about. Everybody's talking at this very shallow level of Modi bad, Rahul good, or vice versa, and all the discourses around that, and is deeply polarized and very, very simplistic, because everything is then around political lines where everything that Modi and Adityanath do is by default bad and the other side does is by default good, or vice versa, as the case might be. And that makes a discourse so simplistic that I don't participate anymore. Once upon a time, I was fairly political when it came to my tweets, and I got cancelled by all sides. But I simply don't participate because there is no space for nuance anymore. I mean, one example of that is just the way people look at the Constitution, that because there is this sense that, the ruling party will want to change the Constitution to make it more Hindutva, as it were, we must therefore hold up the Constitution as a holy book. And I cannot think of anything more dangerous and pernicious than this. That if one side has a Manusmriti as a holy book, that does not mean that the other side has to have the Constitution as a holy book.